Good morning, Year 1 and Year 2. Today is the 15th of July 2021, and this is Miss Fernandez again with our reading lesson. So today we're going to continue our skill of retrieve. We're going to find key information in the text. In order to do that, we're going to underline key information in the question. We're then going to go through the text to look for names, dates, and times, whatever the question asks us for, because we have to look carefully at how much information the question needs and then write down that answer. Let us do a quick starter before we move on to our reading. I'm going to get my pen out here. We have got, again, another 4, 8, 12 words to read for our starter. All of these include our phonics sounds, so please make sure you're using your blending when you are reading. So I'm going to give you some time to do it by yourself. So you can pause the video, have a go, and then we will do it together. Okay, if you're ready to move on, you can go ahead, but if not, we're going to do it together. And you can always stay and watch the video just to make sure we're doing it correctly. So our first word is a, tray, sheep, sheep, a, snake, and teague. Hopefully you got all of those ones right. Remember, some of them are real words, as you can see by the picture. Some of them are alien words, symbolized by this alien over here. Next 4 words. Moon. Dress. Noof. And hoss. All right. And our last 4 words. Web. Ox. Box. Wes. Axe. Hacks. So hopefully you got all of those words, whether they were real words or pseudo-alien words. Okay, so that was our quick starter. Can you remember what has happened in our story so far? Maybe these pictures will help you. Okay, we have got the 3 farmers, Boggis, Bunce, and Bean. They were all very mean, nasty men. And we had Mr. Fox, who would often steal food from them. Okay, so there he is with him and Mrs. Fox. And over here you can see the small foxes. Did you get the question right? There were 4 small foxes that he's got. And here we see that he's creeping out at night to try and go down to the farms to get some dinner for his family. And here are the 3 farmers with their shotguns. They've come up with a plan to try and catch the fox because they are wild with rage. They were angry that he was stealing from them and they did not want him to continue taking their food. So they had a plan to capture him. All right, so let's get to our story. We are on chapter 3. And chapter 3 was called The Shooting. So I think we have an idea of what might happen here. Well, my darling, said Mr. Fox, what shall it be tonight? I think we'll have duck tonight, said Mrs. Fox. Bring us 2 fat ducks, if you please. 1 for you and me, and 1 for the children. So they want 2 ducks for dinner. Ducks it shall be, said Mr. Fox. Bunce is best. Now do be careful, said Mrs. Fox. My darling, said Mr. Fox, I can smell those goons a mile away. I can even smell one from the other. Boggis gives off a filthy stink of rotten chicken skins. So what does Boggis stink of? He stinks of rotten chicken skins. Bunce reeks of goose livers. Okay, again, instead of stink and smell, he reeks. All right, and he smells of goose livers. And as for Bean, the fumes of apple cider hang around him like poisonous gases. So he says, Bean, you can get smells, so fumes of apple cider, and they hang around him like poisonous gases. So again, here you see Mr. Fox, Mrs. Fox, and a few of their children. Okay, let me go back up. Okay. Yes, but just don't get careless, said Mrs. Fox. You know they'll be waiting for you, all three of them. Don't you worry about me, said Mr. Fox. I'll see you later. But Mr. Fox would not have been quite so cocky had he known exactly where the three farmers were waiting at that moment. So cocky means he was quite boastful, he was quite proud, he was kind of bragging, oh, I'm amazing, they'll never catch me. But he didn't realize that they were just outside the entrance to the hole, each one crouching behind a tree with his gun loaded. And what is more, they had chosen their positions very carefully, making sure that the wind was not blowing from them towards the fox's hole. Remember, yesterday we read through, and Mr. Fox's the key to his success was he would stand where the wind was blowing in his face. And when the wind is blowing in your face, you can smell things that the wind's blowing towards you. But this time, the farmers, they were standing where the wind was blowing, where the wind was not blowing from them towards the fox. In fact, it was blowing in the opposite direction. There was no chance of them being smelled out. Okay? So they were standing away from the wind. Mr. Fox crept up the dark tunnel to the mouth of his hole. He poked his long, handsome face out into the night air and sniffed once. He moved an inch or two forward and stopped. He sniffed again. He was always especially careful when coming out from his hole. Okay, so we do know something's going to happen, but we'll find out just what that is tomorrow. Okay, so I think we've read quite a lot today. You've done really well. We're just going to go and answer our few questions. All right, so retrieval means you've got to find answers from the text. The questions could be how, could be who, could be what happened, could give me an example. And that is our retrieval viper. Okay, so question 1. How many ducks does Mrs. Fox want for dinner? If you remember, and you go back in the video, we read that right at the beginning. The question 2, 3, and 4 are quite similar. What does Boggis stink of? So what smell does Boggis give off? Question 3, what does Buns stink of? Question 4, what does Bean stink of? Okay, so all those answers were on that first page. What was the smell that they gave off? And finally, question 5, where were the three farmers? So where were they waiting for Mr. Fox? Where were the three farmers? Okay, so once you have done that, you can either write on a piece of paper and upload the picture to Teams, or you can type your answers straight into Teams, all right? So I look forward to seeing all your lovely answers. Okay, thank you for joining today's reading lesson, year 1 and year 2, and we'll see you later.